What happens when one of Britain's most beloved comedic icons absolutely loses it on live television? In just 23 seconds, a simple question turned into the most explosive meltdown Good Morning Britain has ever witnessed. And it ended with Rowan Atkinson being forcibly removed from the studio. Before we dive into this absolute chaos, make sure you subscribe to our channel for daily videos exposing Hollywood's darkest scandals. Hit that notification bell, because you won't want to miss what we uncover next. Last night's episode of Good Morning Britain was supposed to be a lighthearted chat about Rowan Atkinson's career and his thoughts on modern comedy. But what started as friendly banter quickly spiraled into one of the most uncomfortable confrontations British television has ever seen. Kate Garraway opened the segment with her signature warm smile, welcoming Rowan to the famous red sofa. The studio audience clapped politely as he sat down, looking slightly more serious than his usual Mr. Bean persona might suggest. Kate started with the basics, asking about his upcoming projects and what he'd been working on lately. "So, Rowan, it's wonderful to have you here," Kate began, her voice dripping with that practiced morning show sweetness. "You've been a bit quiet lately. What have you been up to?" Rowan shifted in his seat, a tight smile on his face. "I've been working, Kate. Just because I'm not plastering myself across every talk show doesn't mean I've been idle." There it was, right from the start, a subtle bite in his tone that Kate either didn't catch or chose to ignore. Of course," she said, laughing it off. "We just miss seeing you. The British public adores you. Mr. Bean is a national treasure." "Is that all I am to people?" Rowan asked, his smile fading. "Mr. Bean? I've done other work, you know." Kate's laugh sounded a bit more forced now. "Absolutely. Blackadder, your stage work, everything. But you have to admit, Mr. Bean really connected with audiences in a special way." "Yes, well, sometimes that connection can feel like a prison," Rowan said quietly. But there was an edge there. Kate pressed on, sensing she was losing control of the conversation. "Speaking of your work, there's been a lot of discussion lately about comedy and what's acceptable. You've been quite outspoken about this, haven't you?" And there it was. The pivot. The moment everything changed. Rowan's entire body language shifted. His shoulders tensed. His jaw clenched. When he looked at Kate, his eyes had gone cold. "Have I been outspoken, Kate? Or have I simply been honest in a world where honesty is now considered controversial?" Kate leaned in, clearly thinking she was onto something. "Well, you did say that comedians should be allowed to make jokes about anything, didn't you? Even if some people find those jokes offensive?" "I said," Rowan replied slowly, deliberately, "that comedy requires freedom, that art requires the ability to push boundaries. But I suspect you already know that. I suspect you're asking me this question because you want me to say something you can twist." Kate's smile flickered. "I'm not twisting anything, Rowan. I'm simply asking you to clarify your position. Surely if you believe in something strongly enough to speak about it publicly, you can discuss it here?" "Discuss?" Rowan's voice rose slightly. "Is that what we're doing? Because from where I'm sitting, this feels less like a discussion and more like an interrogation." The studio audience had gone very quiet. You could feel the temperature in the room dropping by the second. Kate tried to regain control. "I think you're being a bit sensitive, Rowan. These are important topics. Our viewers deserve to hear different perspectives." "Sensitive?" Rowan leaned forward, his voice sharp as glass. "You invite me here under the pretense of a friendly chat, then immediately try to bait me into a controversy. And I'm the one being sensitive?" "Nobody's baiting you," Kate said, her voice getting harder. "I'm asking you direct questions about things you've said publicly. If you can't handle that, maybe you shouldn't make those statements in the first place." Oh, you could see it happening. The exact moment Rowan decided he was done playing nice. "Kate," he said, his voice dangerously calm, "do you actually care about this topic? Or are you just hoping I'll say something inflammatory so you can get your viral moment?" Kate's face flushed red. "That's incredibly insulting. I'm a professional journalist doing my job." "A professional journalist," Rowan repeated, shaking his head. "Right. And I'm sure your producers had nothing to do with this line of questioning. I'm sure they didn't tell you to push my buttons, to get a reaction, to create content for your social media team to clip up and spread across the internet." "How dare you?" Kate said, her voice shaking with anger now. "You're sitting on my show, attacking my integrity, and you expect me to just take it?" "Your show?" Rowan shot back. "This isn't your show, Kate. You're just the face they put on it. And yes, I'm questioning your integrity because you don't seem to have any. You're a puppet reading from a script designed to manufacture outrage. The crew members were looking at each other nervously now. This had gone way off the rails, and everyone knew it. Kate stood up slightly, her hands gripping the edge of the sofa. You need to stop right now. This is completely inappropriate. Inappropriate? Rowan laughed bitterly. What's inappropriate is pretending this whole setup isn't exactly what it is, a trap. You people are all the same. You smile, you act friendly, and then you go straight for the jugular. If you can't handle a few tough questions, maybe you need thicker skin? Kate fired back. This is how journalism works, Rowan. We ask difficult questions. We challenge people. That's our job. Tough questions? Rowan's voice dripped with contempt. Those weren't tough questions. They were gotcha questions dressed up as legitimate inquiry. There's a difference. But I don't expect you to understand that. Kate's face was bright red now, her composure completely gone. You arrogant bastard. You sit there on your high horse, looking down on everyone, thinking you're above being questioned, because you made people laugh 30 years ago. There it is, Rowan said quietly. The mask finally comes off. You're angry because I won't play your game. You're furious because I can see right through this charade. You know what your problem is? Kate said, her voice rising to almost a shout. You think being clever makes you special. You think you're smarter than everyone else. But you're just a has-been clinging to relevance by courting controversy. The audience gasped. This was brutal. This was real hatred pouring out in real time. Rowan stood up slowly, deliberately. And you're a soulless mouthpiece for whatever narrative your producers want to push. At least I own who I am. Can you say the same? Sit the hell down, Kate commanded. We're not finished here. Oh, we're very finished, Rowan said, reaching for his microphone. I'm done with this circus. You don't get to decide when we're done, Kate snapped. I'm the host. I control this show. Control? Rowan laughed harshly. You don't control anything, Kate. You're controlled. By ratings, by sponsors, by executives who don't give a damn about actual journalism. You're a puppet, and you don't even realize the strings are there. Kate's hands were shaking now. Whether from rage or something else, it was hard to tell. How dare you come on my program and speak to me this way? Who the hell do you think you are? I'm someone who's done pretending, Rowan said, his voice cold and steady. I'm someone who's sick to death of this performative nonsense. Every single word out of your mouth is calculated, scripted, designed to provoke a response. Well, congratulations. You got one. You're being completely unreasonable, Kate said, trying to regain some semblance of control. I asked you one question about comedy and free speech, and you've turned it into this tantrum. One question? Rowan's voice rose sharply. Don't insult my intelligence. That wasn't one question. That was a premeditated attack disguised as curiosity. And you know it. Everyone watching knows it. Kate pointed her finger at him, her voice venomous. The only attack happening here is you attacking me for doing my job. You came here expecting a puff piece, and when you got real questions, you couldn't handle it. Real questions? Rowan repeated mockingly. Is that what you call them? Because I call them loaded weapons. Every word carefully chosen to make me look like the villain in whatever narrative you've already constructed. Oh, please, Kate scoffed. You're being paranoid. Not everything is a conspiracy, Rowan. It's not paranoia when it's true, Rowan shot back. I've been doing this long enough to know how these shows work. You invite someone on, you butter them up, and then you slip in the knife. It's the same tired playbook every time. Kate's laugh was sharp and cruel. Maybe if everyone keeps using the same playbook with you, the problem isn't us. Maybe the problem is you. Right, Rowan said bitterly. Of course. Anyone who pushes back against your manufactured drama is the problem. Anyone who refuses to be your dancing monkey is difficult. Anyone who sees through your act is paranoid. You're twisting everything I'm saying, Kate protested, but her voice lacked conviction. No, Kate. I'm just holding up a mirror, and you don't like what you see in it. The tension was suffocating now. Everyone in the studio could feel it. This wasn't just a disagreement anymore. This was personal. This was two people who genuinely couldn't stand each other, and all the professional pretense had been stripped away. Kate's voice dropped to something dangerous and quiet. You need to leave right now. Oh, I'm planning to, Rowan said. But not before I say what needs to be said. You want to know the truth about comedy and free speech? The truth is that people like you are destroying it. You create an environment where everyone's terrified to say anything real, anything honest, because they know vultures like you are waiting to twist their words and ruin their lives. How dare you, Kate hissed. How absolutely dare you accuse me of what? Rowan interrupted. Of being part of the problem? Of contributing to a culture where genuine discourse is impossible because everything gets weaponized? Face it, Kate. You're not interested in conversation. You're interested in ammunition. Kate stood up fully now, her whole body rigid with fury. Get out! Get out of my studio right now! It's not your studio, Rowan shouted, finally losing his composure completely. Stop acting like you own something here. You're an employee. A well-paid employee, sure, but still just another cog in the machine. I'm the host of this program, Kate said through gritted teeth. And as the host, I'm telling you to get the hell out before I have you removed. There it is again, Rowan said, shaking his head. That word, host. As if you're doing me some great favor by having me here. As if I should be grateful for the opportunity to be ambushed on live television. Kate's voice rose to a shout. Nobody ambushed you. You're being paranoid and aggressive and completely out of line. Out of line? Rowan's voice matched hers. I'm out of line? You invited me here to talk about comedy? Then immediately pivoted to controversy. You tried to trap me? And when it didn't work, you got nasty. And somehow I'm the one who's out of line? Yes, Kate screamed. Yes, you are. Because normal people don't come on television and accuse their host of conspiring against them. Normal people don't act like everyone's out to get them. Normal people, Rowan said with disgust. You mean compliant people. You mean people who smile and nod and let you walk all over them for the sake of good television. I mean people who have basic social skills and can handle a conversation without losing their bloody minds. Kate was fully shouting now, all professionalism abandoned. Rowan ripped off his microphone with enough force that the wire snapped. There's nothing social about this, Kate. This is warfare with better lighting. Oh, don't be so dramatic, Kate sneered. You're acting like I personally attacked you. I asked you questions. That's literally all I did. You know what? Fine, Rowan said, throwing the broken microphone onto the sofa. Let's play this game. Let's pretend you're innocent here. Let's pretend this whole thing wasn't orchestrated from the moment I walked through that door. But we both know the truth, don't we? The only truth here is that you can't handle being challenged, Kate said coldly. You've spent so long being praised and worshipped that you've forgotten what it's like when someone doesn't kiss your arse. And you've spent so long playing games that you've forgotten what actual journalism looks like, Rowan countered. This isn't challenging me, Kate. This is trying to destroy me for sport. Kate laughed, a harsh sound with no warmth in it. Destroy you? Oh, please. You're destroying yourself just fine. Do you have any idea how you look right now? Screaming at me, throwing equipment, acting like a child having a tantrum? At least I'm being honest, Rowan said. Can you say the same? Can you honestly tell me you didn't come into this segment hoping for exactly this outcome? Kate's silence was answer enough. That's what I thought, Rowan said quietly. You wanted fireworks. You wanted drama. Well, congratulations. You got it. I hope it was worth it. Don't you dare act like you're the victim here, Kate said, her voice shaking with rage. You came on my show and attacked me personally. You questioned my integrity, my professionalism, my character. And you expect sympathy? I expect honesty, Rowan said. But apparently that's too much to ask. Honesty? Kate's voice went shrill. You want honesty? Fine. Honestly, I think you're a bitter, washed-up comedian who can't accept that the world has moved on without you. You're clinging to this free speech crusade because it's the only thing keeping you relevant. The words hung in the air like poison. Rowan went very still. When he spoke, his voice was barely above a whisper, but it cut through the studio like a scream. And there it is, the real Kate Garraway. Not the friendly morning show host, not the compassionate interviewer, just someone who gets off on tearing people down. I'm not tearing anyone down, Kate said, but her voice wavered. I'm just stating facts. Facts, Rowan repeated. Right, because calling someone washed up and irrelevant is fact-based journalism. Tell me, Kate, did they teach you that technique in broadcasting school? Or did you pick it up from the tabloids? "This is ridiculous," Kate said, waving her hand dismissively. "I'm done with this conversation. Security." Two large men in black uniforms appeared from the wings, moving quickly toward the set. "Oh, here we go," Rowan said, watching them approach. "Can't win the argument, so you call in reinforcements. How predictable." "You need to leave," Kate said firmly, addressing the security guards. "Remove him from the studio." "With pleasure," one of the guards said, reaching for Rowan's arm. Rowan jerked away. "Don't touch me. I'm leaving on my own, thanks very much." "Too late for that," Kate said with cold satisfaction. "You should have left when I gave you the chance. Now you get to be escorted out like the troublemaker you are." "Troublemaker?" Rowan laughed bitterly as the guards moved to flank him. "Yes, that's what I am. Not someone standing up for themselves. Not someone refusing to be manipulated. Just a troublemaker." "Whatever helps you sleep at night, Kate." "I'll sleep just fine," Kate said icily. "Because unlike you, I didn't just throw away my career on live television. If standing up to people like you costs me my career, then it wasn't much of a career to begin with," Rowan said as the guards began guiding him off the set. Kate called after him, her voice loud enough for everyone to hear. "You're done, Rowan. Nobody in this industry is going to touch you after this. You've committed professional suicide." Rowan stopped and turned back, the guard still holding his arms. "You know what the really sad thing is, Kate? You actually believe that. You think this industry, this toxic, superficial, soul-destroying industry, is worth protecting. It's not. And if burning bridges with people like you is the price of keeping my self-respect, I'll pay it gladly." "Get him out of here," Kate said to the guards, her voice cracking slightly. Now, as they pushed him toward the exit, Rowan shouted back one last time, "You can kick me out, Kate, but you can't change the truth. You're part of the problem. You and everyone like you. And deep down, you know it." Kate's face was bright red, whether from anger or embarrassment, or both. "Go to hell, Rowan. Already there, apparently," Rowan called back as the guards shoved him through the studio doors. "It's called morning television." The doors slammed shut behind him with a thunderous bang that echoed through the suddenly silent studio. Kate stood there, breathing hard, her hands trembling, staring at the closed doors as if she couldn't quite believe what had just happened. The cameras were still rolling, capturing every moment of her shock, her rage, her complete loss of composure. Her co-host, who had been silent throughout the entire confrontation, gently touched her shoulder, but Kate flinched away. "We're going to take a break," Kate said to the camera, her voice shaking. "We'll be right back after these messages." But as the broadcast cut to commercial, everyone watching knew that this moment would define Good Morning Britain for years to come. The segment where Kate Garraway and Rowan Atkinson had torn into each other with such venom, such pure hatred, that it stopped being entertainment and became something raw and real and deeply uncomfortable. Outside the studio doors, Rowan walked between the two security guards, his head held high despite everything. One of the guards spoke quietly. "That was quite a show in there, sir." "Yes, well," Rowan said with a tired smile. "Sometimes you have to make a scene to make a point." "Did it work?" the other guard asked. Rowan glanced back at the studio doors one last time. "I suppose we'll find out." And with that, he walked out into the morning air, leaving behind the chaos, the cameras, and Kate Garraway still standing on that red sofa, trying to figure out how everything had gone so spectacularly wrong in just 23 seconds.